Hey guys, Beyond Lynx here, and welcome to the channel. I know I've been away for a little bit, and I apologize for that. I really haven't been really into uploading anything, and I actually uploaded on my first channel because I have more subscribers there, and so I just uploaded a Child's Play 3 review, and off the cuff, which I'm going to do right now for Pokemon, but Pokemon's much shorter, so I mean it's not as hard for me to actually remember. I do apologize for being away for so long. Please like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it. So to recap the last Pokemon episode, this one actually, I'm going to go through the name first. It's Ash Catches a Pokemon. That's what the name of the episode. But to recap the last episode is Ash was about to catch a Caterpie, and this one he actually achieves it. But I don't think that's the reason why it's called Ash Catches a Pokemon. You'll find out later. So Misty's still with him. So he ends up catching the Caterpie, and Misty doesn't like insects. So she gets all like, keep that away from me. And so Caterpie gets all sad. I feel bad for Caterpie. Misty's okay in this, but she's still the same stubbornness person that she was in the last couple episodes. But she's still growing on me. I mean, I've always liked her as a character, and I've always liked a couple of characters that we're going to find out later on. So Ash ends up leaving Misty behind, and Misty's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "You don't like Caterpie, so Caterpie's going to be with me." And Caterpie was on his shoulder the whole time. He was saying these things, and he ends up leaving, walking away. And Pikachu was like, because Pikachu also likes Misty, but Pikachu likes Ash a lot too now. So Pikachu ends up going with Ash. So Misty ends up following, and Ash is like, "Why are you following us?" And Misty's like, "Because you still owe me a bike." That's so funny. So they end up setting up camp and stuff like that, and Caterpie and Pikachu at night look at the moon. They don't know exactly what they're talking about, but I kind of assume what they're talking about, because it shows up later on why they were looking at the moon. So Misty wakes up to Caterpie. Caterpie's in her face, and she freaks out. Then we see a Pidgeotto, and Pidgeotto ends up arriving, and so Ash tries to catch it without battling it. So the Pidgey ends up escaping because you need to battle a Pokemon, and Misty explains that if the reason why you didn't have a problem with catching Caterpie was because it's a weak Pokemon. So Ash ends up saying, okay, he battles it with Caterpie. Caterpie is a bug Pokemon. So we can tell that, it's a Pidgeotto, which is a bird-type Pokemon. So Pidgeotto, literally attacks it like a worm, because that's the way it is. I was like, what? And then Ash tells Caterpie to come back, and ends up sending out, I think Pikachu, and Pikachu ends up electrocuting it, and then while Pikachu is electrocuting it, Ash ends up catching it while Pikachu is electrocuting it. So after Ash catches the Pidgeotto, Team Rocket ends up showing up. I didn't think they were going to show up in this episode. I was like, this whole episode seems like it's just a regular plain episode where it's just gonna be a slice of life, and but they try to they tell Ash right off the bat, this is why we're doing this, and Meowth is really mad, so he ends up attacking both Jesse and James, and he's like, you shouldn't be telling me why we're doing this. But then he opens his mouth too and says exactly the same exact thing, except it elaborates more. I'm like, what? Why? And then and then Pikachu ends up getting like the sludge because they end up sending out coughing and Ekans, and he gets sludge in his eyes, and so Pikachu can't do anything, can't attack or anything because it can't see. So Ash tries to send out Pidgeotto, and Pidgeotto does not. Tries his best, but Pidgeotto can't keep up with 2 Pokemon at once, which shouldn't be 2 Pokemon, but it is. So Ash is like, well, I gotta send out my Caterpie, and Missy's like, what are you doing? No, Caterpie is injured. So he sends out Caterpie anyway. Caterpie at first is like, I can't, it's like this, and like I can't like do anything because I'm a small fucking bug. Can't talk or anything, but obviously that's what basically it's like. What are you thinking? So, but Ash literally, like, I don't know how, but he remembers. I don't know why. I mean, he remembers. Oh yeah, Caterpie has a string shot attack, so this Caterpie ends up like doing a string shot attack, and ends up like disabling both Pokemon of Team Rocket. So they're like they picked up their Pokemon. Oh yeah, and also Meowth also. She string shots Meowth because Meowth tries something. So Team Rocket ends up picking up their Pokemon and ends up running away, but when they do it, they actually say Team Rocket's blasting off, even though they're not blasting off. They're just running off. So it would be hilarious if they would have said running off again, or running off. Instead it said blasting off. So, and then it ends with, not ends, but then Misty says, oh, you were a really big help to Caterpie, and Ash is like, why don't you try to like pat it, and I don't know if that's like, you know what I mean. So Misty ends up trying to pat Caterpie, but Caterpie ends up like doing the silk stuff out of its mouth, and Misty is like, ah, freaks out, and then Ash picks the drop and puts it on the ground, and then Caterpie ends up evolving into a Metapod. So Misty, well, after Metapod and after Caterpie ends up evolving into a Metapod, Ash goes, well, what do we leave off? And he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, you gotta give it a pat. So Misty ends up giving it, trying to give it a pat. I think something happens. I can't exactly remember, but she ends up giving it a pat, I think. And that's basically the end of the episode. Oh yeah, the reason why Caterpie was looking at the moon earlier is because it was thinking about being a Butterfree, which is the last of all form of Caterpie and Metapod. But all in all, it's a pretty decent episode. It was just I would say it elaborated more on the last episode. Ash actually ended up catching 2 Pokemon in this one and evolving one. But my like for this one, which I think is hilarious, is when Misty ends up like freaking out because she was about to pat Caterpie, and it was like going like this. That was my favorite part. My mixed is a her still. She's growing on me. Misty's growing on me, but she's just still like a naggy woman. No offense to any of my subscribers. That's my mixed. I mean, it's not a negative or anything, but come on. She's nagging all the time. I kind of understand in this episode because she doesn't want nothing to do with a bug type. She's scared of bugs. My negative is Ash in this episode because he seems kind of stupid in this episode. Trying to catch a Pokemon without battling it, and then sending out Caterpie to get pecked on. Come on now, Ash. You can do better than that. I don't know. I don't understand him. I don't. But I'm hoping he learns in these next couple episodes. He's just starting out, so I mean, I can't just. But in this episode, he's just plain stupid. You obviously have to battle the Pokemon first. So yeah, it's basically the episode. I really hope you guys enjoy these. I'm gonna be probably making more of them. See, I remember it off the top of my head, which is weird. I mean, it was only a quick episode, so it's not very long. I'm sure I missed a little bits and pieces, but I've got the gist of it in this one. But anyways, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. This has been Beyond Lynx, and also like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it also. And I'll see you guys next one. Bye.